but it's not quite New Year's. What day is it? Who are we, right? And so New Year's Eve is definitely approaching very quickly. And I wanted to take a little bit of time to just acknowledge that, offer a few things, and of course, make sure you knew about my New Year's Eve class. It's become one of my kind of favorite traditions now to offer a virtual Yin and meditation class on New Year's Eve. So we'll talk about that here in just a moment. But hopefully, you're starting into that process that thinking about a year that's coming to a close, as well as a new year that is upon us, and hopefully a year of possibility and a lot of great things coming our way. And as you do that, I did want to make sure that you knew about, or that you had access to, a goal workbook that I have created. It's totally free. I'm going to put on the screen here. There we go. The address, if you go to bit.ly/goal workbook, you can download this workbook for free, and it is a way to hopefully make your goals more accessible, right? A lot of times I think we set kind of large scale end of year goals, but what this workbook does is helps bring those back towards where you are today and kind of walk you through benchmarking those goals, as well as pathways and agency, and just more consideration and kind of like an action plan on how to get there. So if you would like that, I hope that you grab it if you think that would be useful for you. Because hopefully you'll achieve all those goals that you want and that you set for the year ahead. So as you maybe start filling out that goal workbook and we approach New Year's Eve morning, I want to invite you to the Yin and Meditation Class. And I wanted to do this live to make sure that you knew what Yin was about. So Yin is very different if you've come to either in person or virtually to kind of my regular weekly classes. Those are vinyasa-based classes. So you hear a lot of cues associated with the breath, right? Inhale, exhale. And those are warming classes. So we warm up and we stretch, and then we cool back down at the end. What Yin Yoga does is we stay cool and cold. And so we're really not focused on stretching the muscles, but instead stretching the fascia that surrounds all of our muscles. And so if you're really thinking about flexibility, Yin is really important because your muscles can only stretch as far as your fascia will allow, because the fascia, right, surrounds the muscles. So if your fascia is tight or dehydrated and really rigid, then your muscles can't stretch as far as if compared to if your fascia was hydrated and able to expand and stretch more. So Yin really focuses on that fascia. But fascia, because it is thicker and a little bit more rigid than your muscles, we have to hold the stretches for longer in order to get that stretch. And so what we do in class, and what we will do when you join in the New Year's Eve class, is we make our way into a pose. And it's an active stretch, but not maybe as much or as hard as you might think about going if you weren't going to hold the stretch very long, right? So if you think about a stretch in vinyasa, you're like, oh, we're going to be here just a couple of breaths. And so your edge is going to be different. So in Yin, we're going to move into that pose where we can really breathe slowly and deeply into that stretch. And then we will hold the stretch for 2 to 5 minutes. And what you tend to notice as we hold the stretch is that your muscles, your fascia, right, kind of release, and you end that pose in a different spot than where you started. And that's the real benefit of Yin. I also personally find that I feel the benefit of Yin Yoga seemingly for longer than I often do in Vinyasa. That impact of those longer held stretches sticks with me for a longer period of time. And I would think that Yin really fits this time, this closure of one year, this beginning of another year, and gives us also more quiet time in the practice. For those 2 to 5 minutes that we're holding a stretch, we can really focus on that breath. We can really focus on either reflecting on the year that's ending, thinking about the year that is about to begin, and so forth. And so that kind of quiet time with that stretching and releasing of the fascia, it's really become one of my favorite annual classes. So I hope that that sounds really interesting to you. Additionally, it is a Yin and meditation class. So we'll do about 40 minutes probably of the Yin practice. And then we will have a guided meditation in the Shavasana. So it'll be a longer Shavasana with a guided meditation as part of that. And then we'll be all set. So it's at 10:30 Central Time on New Year's Eve. And in the description of the video description, if you click on that link, it will take you to a checkout for the $10. You could also Venmo me if you've done that before. And I will make sure that I get you the Zoom link. It is in the thank you page. If you use the link above in the video description, that thank you page when you check out will include the Zoom link. And I'll also make sure to reach out to you and make sure that you have it. You can also always message or reach out to me as well if there's ever any questions or confusion on how to join in. It will be held on Zoom, so it's free for you to use. And you can join in from anywhere. So this could be a great time too if you have family or friends that are somewhere else, but you want to really connect with them for New Year's Eve. This is a great way to do that. I have done that a couple of times over the past couple of years as we've spent more time at home and as we've gotten more accustomed to, more used to having classes online that we do at home. And it's been nice. I know that they're logged on, they're doing the same practice that I'm doing somewhere else. And it can be a nice way to connect. So Yin Yoga, we stay cold. We're going to hold the poses for longer, give you time to really breathe, feel the impact of that stretch, and hopefully kind of end 2021 on a high note and really prepare for a great 2022 ahead. And again, I'll put on the screen one more time that link for the goal workbook as well. If you want to grab that and even begin to work on it, maybe before the Yin class or after. Additionally, if you can't make this class live, 10:30 a.m. Central Time on New Year's Eve just doesn't work for you, but you're really interested in doing this practice, if you buy the ticket to the class, you get live access, but also everyone also gets access for 3 days to the recording. So you can do it later in the day if that works for you, or if you even can come live and you want to repeat the practice on January 1st, on the 2nd, etc. You could do that. So I hope that you will join and that we can end this year together with a little Yin and meditation practice. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope that you are too, and that I will see you then. Thanks.